Can you hear me in the back? Awesome, that's great. Do we have the slides already? We don't? Yes, we do. So, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for gathering to talk today about such a fancy topic. Hope it will be valuable for you. But before moving on to it, I'd like to get to know you a bit better and to understand what kind of audience I'm talking to. So, maybe you could raise your hands who out of you work at customer support. Okay, we see some people working. Who care about customer support? Let's say you have your own startups or working companies and want to improve it. Awesome. Who work in marketing? Even more product development? Okay, awesome. That seems really great. So, my name is Vykintas. I work as head of customer support at a great company called Mindvalley, 10,000 kilometers from here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. However, as you can see, even though it's so far away and we have people from 40 countries out there, we even had a Lithuanian day, and so everyone was wearing yellow, green, and red, and we were dancing Lithuanian dances and so on. So it's really fun working there. If anyone is interested, let me know. However, of course, my name or the company I work for tells nothing of why I speak today about this topic, right? So let me please tell you a short story of why I'm speaking about such type of technology and why it really, really matters to me. So I joined customer support 2 years ago, all naive, believing how important customer support is for companies, for market, and so on. Soon to understand that it's not so true compared to, let's say, marketing. Low salaries, low retention of top talents, low investment from companies, low attention from C-level executives in many companies and so on. And I had the chance to go to work in marketing and earn more, at least in our case, and get more spotlight. However, there is one word that defines my life. No matter where I go and what I do, it's legacy. But if I see a challenge somewhere out there, I always try to build legacy, value for people to come later on after even I finish and I don't do any active actions towards that activity. So therefore I decided to raise a mission for myself. Instead of quitting, decided to raise a mission for myself to revolutionize customer support at Mindvalley and hopefully to inspire some other customer support teams across the globe to do the same or something similar. And I have hope and even I believe the means to that this can be successful. To be more precise, I really believe in the phenomenon called democratization of technology. And if there is one single idea that I would like you to bring out of this talk, and I would be very happy if at least a few of you would be inspired to use the opportunities of democratization of technology, no matter where you work, in customer support, in marketing, in product development, anywhere. To be more precise, I believe, talking specifically about customer support, sorry for such shitty drawing, I made it for my team to understand and hope it will help explain the case here as well. I believe that for far too many years, majority of customer support teams globally were stuck in so-called linear growth. Why? Because the technology was out of reach. Either it was too expensive or not advanced enough to really bring human-like interactions at a scalable level, or it was too complex, so customer support teams were still dependent on internal tech resources and so on. However, because of democratization of technology and the emergence of conversational commerce, I believe that we can get into the so-called exponential growth. When you take one innovation, one huge technological project, you implement and you bring level of your operations into an entire new level, then again another innovation, and again into the new level, and so on. And this is what we are trying to do in our customer support team. We started from very simple things. In the beginning, we implemented a plugin of natural language processing search engine, along with data analytics, into, at that point, a very shitty old support center that we had that didn't bring any results, and so on. And without any fixed investments, just for $1,000 subscription fee for a company called Inventa, we managed to get that leap of growth right away. From a firefighting team that was totally dependent on how many people we have, how many emails we receive from customers, and so on, we created self-service out of nothing, and data-driven team to optimize our content for self-service and so on. Then, second thing, we decided to use similar backend technology, and we created advanced UX and UI designs for a new support center. You can see screenshots of that support center here, and then again, we brought to the entire new level again. However, probably, especially people who work in customer support here, think that, but like, Vykintas, what are you talking about? Support centers is nothing new, it's already for 10 years, maybe out there and bringing results. And that's true. The thing is that support centers bring two of the criteria in customer support. It brings speed, so customers can get instant answers right away. And it brings convenience, because what happens, you have a support center, which is a scalable channel, and you can communicate it on any touch point with customers so that they can reach and get the answers, right? But there is one thing that gets really sacrificed, and it got sacrificed in our case as well, which is the wow feeling or personalization for customers, compared to when you deliver customer support manually, right? However, I believe that again, because of democratization of technology, we have the means of technology to carry on continuously and get to the new level of customer support until we implement real artificial intelligence. Yeah, so conversational commerce. And to show that, we will go through 4 stages today. First, I will show you that messaging is already a very important channel that you should use opportunities of. Second, we will talk about integrations that open up the opportunities and options to use messaging as a channel. Third part should be most interesting for any of you who is interested in marketing technology, because we will talk about simple workflow-based chatbots, or as they call them, messaging marketing platforms. And fourth, we will talk about advanced conversational assistance, so a bit more advanced technology, mostly for customer support, for product development, for people who work on app and platform navigation, and so on. Are you ready? Does it seem interesting at all? Yeah. Okay, good. So I hope that it will be valuable for you. First, messaging. What we see from this graph is that already 4 biggest messaging apps have surpassed the 4 biggest social media apps and already close in on approximately 3 billion users worldwide. This is crazy. This shows how huge the channel is already. If we go to individual messaging apps, we see that WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger already have not even 1 billion, have 1.2 billion users each. However, even let's say there are such apps as WeChat. Who of you heard of WeChat? So you see, many people haven't even heard, but it has 850 million users. And it totally dominates Chinese and some Asian markets. So this shows that depending on the market that you're working in, you may select the messaging app to focus on in the very beginning. However, if I had to pick only one to focus globally, the winner would definitely be Facebook Messenger. I will not expand why, but you can see already the results are there, and it belongs to Facebook. And so we see that messaging, and especially Facebook Messenger, is already a huge channel if you want to reach your customers, no matter if you work in customer support, in marketing, or anywhere else. In addition to that, why I'm so passionate about using Messenger as a support channel is because it breaks down the barriers between ticketing or email support and chat, which has been distinct for many, many years so far. Because what happens with Messenger is that if you don't have an agent available, customer submits a message which enters the platform as a ticket, but then when agent responds to a customer, boom, he gets a notification on his phone and starts replying. And then suddenly from ticket, it becomes a chat conversation. Then it can become a ticket conversation once again, and so on. So this brings a huge change to the channel as such. In addition to that, I believe that Facebook will soon launch calls and video calls feature for businesses as well. Meaning that we will have all of the potential means of using channels for customer support in one place. This brings a huge change and much huger improvement for customer support teams globally. However, only channel is not enough, right? For instance, email by itself would be nothing without the surrounding technology, without email marketing platforms and so on. So we need the same things for messaging channels. And for that, integrations is the key. And I'm very sorry for this very cheap, trivial picture, However, it helps to illustrate the point. I believe that because of the recent explosion of integrations and synchronization between all the software as a service tools out there, every one of you, no matter where you work, you can be like a system design architect. You can select the best software as a service tools to reach specific objectives for this objective, this objective, this objective, and this, and then you can place everything as pieces of puzzle into one system design to reach your company goals, whatever you want to do. And on one hand, in the last 2 years, we see an explosion. All software as a service tools now have such things as webhooks, APIs, SDKs, Zapier integrations, and so on. I won't expand on what these things mean and so on. However, in general, what this means for me is opportunities to design. And in many cases now, when I'm making market researches for different technologies, I care more not about specific criteria of software as a service tool, but how integratable it is into the entire ecosystem. And if any of you is building software as a service businesses, take this into consideration. This will become more and more important as a selection criteria. And the results of this is that, for instance, on Facebook Messenger, you can now get a ride, an Uber ride through Messenger. What this means is that Messenger becomes not a messaging channel, but a multifunctional tool to do lots of various things. In this another video, you can see that you can already send payments to your friends. You can purchase lots of things, whatever you want, through Facebook Messenger. This is because of the integrations, because of opening up the code. In addition to that, now you don't even need tech teams to connect your channels to your live chat software, for instance. A few clicks and boom, your live chat software is connected to your Facebook page. A few clicks and your chatbot that you just built on Chatfuel is connected to your Facebook page. Also, we see emergence of such technologies as Smooch, for instance, which works in the backend and connects any kind of channel you may use for customer support, and you can select one platform from which you will be replying, but in whatever you do. Yes, however, on the other hand, there are still quite a lot of challenges, especially if you work in customer support. Why? Because for customer support to work, for chatbots for customer support to work, only chatbot is not enough. Because still, depending on the business, from 40% to 20% of cases, you will need live human being. For that, you need to build a hybrid chat system. So that anytime a customer gets into your messaging channel, it gets support through a bot, which is totally scalable solution. And only if a bot cannot help, it needs to seamlessly escalate to a live human being, so that your customer experience wouldn't be harmed, right? And for that, when you are selecting different technologies, you need to find a way how to integrate everything. And out of my experience, I checked hundreds of different platforms, and so far what I found the best is an integration between Converse.ai as a chatbot building tool. You can see an example, a screenshot here, and Intercom, because you can integrate Converse.ai to Intercom to route through it and get that seamless experience for your customers. But it's still not an ideal solution. However, this is the best I could find so far. Cool? So, what we understood is that already, that messaging is an important channel, right? In addition to that, that integrations provide you opportunities to become like a system architect. Third thing is something of interest mostly for people who are interested in marketing, who are interested in spreading news, and so on. So we'll talk about messaging marketing platforms, or simple workflow-based chatbots. And the thing is that it's crazy what's happening in the market. Here you can see, I would love to say that it's all the chatbot building platforms that exist out there, but it's far away from true. This is just like the ones that I could find and check. And what this means when you have so many platforms appearing in the last 1 year is that it's given on hands for every one of us. Meaning that the price is super cheap, or even for free in many cases, to build chatbots for marketing purposes. In addition to that, it's super easy to build them. You don't even need to be a developer. So believe me, you can ask my friends. I used to be most technologically challenged guy, right?
True.
Yeah, and they agree. And you don't need to be a tech guy to build them. Super easy. In addition to that, on a supply side, we see that 81% of brands have Facebook pages. However, only 2% of them have chatbots already available, meaning that you have all the tools that don't cost anything. It's easy to build, and there is no competition yet. You can just take it and use it. Now, but why should you care, right? So let's go through the benefits of why you should care, especially for marketing purposes. One thing, if you compare to email marketing, now when you send an email, you send a long text of content for all the people on your email list, right? When you send a message through Facebook Messenger, you send a conversation. And then you personalize the content and answers depending on what customers are telling. If they did something or if they did not, if they watched the webinar or if they did not, and so on. So it becomes much more interactive and engaging. In addition to that, there are much more ways to deliver your content in a visual way. In addition to that, those who work in marketing, I bet you will agree that email list building is one of the most important things, right? In most of the cases. And when it comes to email list building, when you're using email, you need people on landing pages to enter their email, to enter their name and surname in many cases, and so on. And what happens is that people, especially millennials, become defensive and reluctant to give you this information. So thus, conversion rates are really getting sacrificed on landing pages and so on. Now, when it comes to Messenger, it's just welcome on board, because you just take URL of your Messenger bot, you can add it to a button or just you put the URL, and it's enough for anyone to click on it. Boom, that person is in your list already. And then this is how easily you can build your list and then send any kind of messages that you want. In addition to that, what we see is that messaging marketing platforms already have similar functionality as email marketing platforms. You can build the list. You can build sublists based on tags. You can build automated funnels. You can build, blast messages. You can schedule messages, and so on. And finally, open rates of messages on Messenger are way higher than email open rates. An example from Mindvalley for you. So what we did, we had 300,000 people who were inactive email subscribers in our list. And we decided to make a retargeting campaign on Facebook. And results seem to be quite successful because 100,000 of them got engaged. So they showed that they are still interested in Mindvalley, in our content. However, guess how many of them became active email subscribers once again? Anyone has any guesses? Out of 300,000 people and 100,000 who engaged?
2%.
2%. Okay. Anything else? 5%? Result is that close to zero. 1,000 people got engaged again on email. Now my assumption is what? That email is fishy. Especially millennials. Email is not the channel to have a conversation with them for brands. So we need to provide different options, and one of those different options is definitely messaging platforms. I'm quite sure that much more of those 100,000 people who engaged would have become active once again if we did that at that point, and now we are developing strategy to do that in the next retargeting campaign. Now, but to not be too theoretical, and to provide you some practical value from this talk, whoever wants to implement a chatbot for marketing purposes today, just go after this talk to chatfuel.com and do it in a few hours. It's free, totally. We are using it in Mindvalley, and we don't need to pay anything for it. It's super easy to build, and it's getting better and better every single month. They are investing like crazy. So if you get interested in using this, remember, chatfuel.com, after this conversation, you can build it in a few hours and already start building your list and start blasting your messages. Now, if you need any inspiration of what kind of bots you can build, how you can communicate messages, Facebook just released Discover section on Facebook Messenger, where you can find various bots for whatever categories and brands and so on. So you can check how they work. Or you can go to botlist.co, to find bots for various messaging platforms. Not just Messenger, but also Telegram, Kik, Slack, and so on and so on. So if you need inspiration, remember this, botlist.co. Anyone has any questions maybe about for marketing? How to use it? No? Does it sound valuable at all? Okay, good. So now it's time to go to advanced conversational assistants. And this is mostly where I'm now trying to specialize in and the technologies that I'm using for customer support purposes. Because let's say Chatfuel wouldn't work. It's too simple to really build human-like experience of interacting with bots for customers. So, and when we talk about more advanced conversational assistants, these are the technologies that you should care about and try out. And what we can see is that the major players in the market are already here. It's Vid by Facebook, Luis by Microsoft, Lex by Amazon, API.ai by, guess what? Google. All the biggest players in the market. In addition to that, we have IBM, Bluemix Technology, and so on. And also we have the smaller but really great players like Conversible and Converse.ai. And I believe that these players are the secrets, the keys to carrying on climbing up here and continuously up-leveling your customer support operations. Now, but what do I mean by advanced tools? You may guess, right? First of all, it's natural language processing. Now, if you want to build something for customer support, it's critical that you give people a chance to type in freely, whatever issue they are facing and so on. And it's critical that your systems can understand what customers are meaning. Because customers will never use the same words and same expressions as your customer support teams will use for your titles of your articles and so on. So natural language processing is the key whenever you're looking for technologies for customer support. In addition to that, we see emergence of machine learning. And for instance, API.ai by Google already has machine learning algorithms that you can train your bot and you can improve it over time. And this is as well is super important if you want to really get into that human-like interaction level over time. So it's still in the infancy. Let's say Converse.ai, the tool that I decided to choose, doesn't have it yet. But in coming 1-2 years, it will become a by default thing. I don't have doubts about that. In addition to that, now when I talk about advanced assistants, the thing is, let's say with Chatfuel, is that it only is built for conversations. So customers select something or tells you something, then you give this answer, and again, right? When it comes to advanced tools, you have such thing as actions. And you can use the actions to make actions on behalf of your customer. Through actions, you can build systems through messaging, the channel, that can pass through orders, that can book tickets or reserve tables, and so on. In addition to that, you can build connection with, let's say, your warehouse, that if a customer is interested in red M-size t-shirts, you can check your warehouse through actions if it's available, and boom, you give the response back to a customer right on the messenger, and then he can proceed with the purchase right on Messenger, not even going to a website or anywhere else. And you don't need, again, coding to build actions on these tools. You just need coders to connect to your platforms. And fourth thing is speech recognition. It's still in its infancy level, not so important yet. However, the technology is improving super fast. And already computers can understand and catch the words better than human. Why this is important to understand? Because of these numbers. Anyone have any guesses what these numbers mean? 40 versus 150.
Processing speed?
Similar, yes. So we can type on average 40 words per minute. We can speak on average 150 words per minute. Meaning that tools that have speech recognition in place will become more and more demanded by customers. Especially when we see Apple going into AirPods business. And Apple will become fashion, will create a fashion for people to speak with their devices and so on. And the cool thing about the tools that I presented in this section is that most of them are connected to Google Actions, to Microsoft Cortana, to Apple Siri, to Amazon Alexa, and so on. Meaning that if you build a chatbot, mostly focusing now on text, to work in Facebook Messenger, later on you can plug it into any of these tools. And at one point, customers can just take their Android phone, can tell, okay, Google, connect me to Mindvalley support, and they can speak with a bot, not through written, but through spoken language. This will be the power in upcoming a few years, you will see. And finally, when you are selecting an advanced tool, it's important how many integrations it has. So for instance, in Converse.ai case, you can see that it has not only Messenger, but also many other messaging apps integrations. In addition to that, it has custom channels integrations, if you have some channels built in your particular product. And it has integrations with Twilio, for instance, meaning that you can build a chatbot through SMS. So customers even don't need internet connection to have a conversation with your chatbot. SMS is also an option here, depending on your needs, right? And when it comes to real examples, what we are doing at Mindvalley now, we already have a prototype, hybrid chat. It's still not live. We are planning to go live in a month or so. So we selected Converse.ai, mostly because it has natural language processing capabilities and it has very convenient chat conversation mapping system. And believe me, when you're building for customer support, it's super, super important because you will end up with thousands of blocks of information. And let's say Chatfuel wouldn't be a tool in this place. Converse.ai seems to be a good tool. In addition to that, Converse.ai has integrations with Intercom, meaning that all conversations go through Intercom, through one place, which is super, super convenient for all customer support agents. And then your customers can reach you through Messenger. Again, in the beginning it's a bot, later on it's a conversation with an agent. And they can even reach you through chat widget on your website or on your platform or on your app and so on. So we will provide even more opportunities and even more convenience for your customers to reach you. And thus you end up with speed that I mentioned as one of the criteria, because all 100% of customers get answer right away. Maybe not resolve the issue yet, but they get at least some kind of answer. Second thing is you increase the convenience because you have a totally scalable tool and you can plug it in on any touch point of customers, wherever your customers may need help. You don't need to think that, oh, maybe we shouldn't communicate this here because we don't have enough customer support agents and we have 60 hours of waiting time and so on. And third thing is that you get totally personalized customer support on a scalable level without hiring any more people, without any new costs, and so on. And these technologies cost super, super cheap. By implementing this, we expect to cut $20,000 per month, because we will get rid of such technologies as desk for ticketing and so on. Things that just stopped in a stone age and they didn't develop anymore and so on. So, to recap, messaging is a super important channel that we should use opportunities to reach our customers. Second thing is that integrations provide you an opportunity to be architects of system design. Third thing, use messaging marketing platforms or simple workflow-based chatbots for marketing purposes. Or if you want for customer support or for navigation through your platforms and apps, use advanced conversational technology. And I will finish with a quote from a CEO of Kik, which is, by the way, another one true in upcoming few years. Yeah, democratization of technology. Thank you very much. My email is vykintas@vykintas.com. If anyone is interested in talking to me later on about how to create hybrid chat experiences in general, about customer support, or about life, whatever you want, just email me here, or I will stay here for 1 month in Lithuania before coming back to Malaysia. Thank you very much.